business. Whether you're a startup, there's something for you. Whether you're an established business, there's something for you. We bring panels of experts, people who have actually walked this journey in business, so that it can benefit you. You can listen to their stories, to their challenges, and I know you'll be able to pick something. We are available on television. We are also available on Facebook. We are also available on social media, YouTube. So in case you're watching us on YouTube, would ask you to please subscribe, like the video, because it will help us with the algorithm of YouTube to just reach many more people. And as a Christian perspective in business, we would really want to benefit many people who would want to listen to this kind of business talk. And with me today are a gentleman known as Mr. Mututa and Wambua, and we'll be discussing about investing in real estate, whereby we're going to look at strategies, we're going to look at risks, and we're going to look at benefits. So they are experts in that area, and I would want to ask Mututa to introduce himself and also introduce his business. Welcome, Mututa.
Yes, thank you. I'm Mr. Mututa Kisinga. I'm in real estate. The CEO and founder of Sweethomes Management.
Sweethomes Management.
Sweethomes Management.
What does Sweethomes Management do?
Sweethomes Management, we manage the properties. We manage commercial, and also we manage also the residentials.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And in my immediate right is Mr. Wambua. Welcome very much, Wambua, to this program, KBN. Tell us your name and introduce yourself also.
Thank you, sir, for having me. My name is Joseph Wambua. I'm an accountant by profession. I work with Sweethomes Management Limited, which is a real estate company. It's a private limited company dealing with commercial properties, residential properties, lands. Yeah, that is what we do. And I'm happy today to be here with you at Kingdom Business Network.
You're the gentleman who counts the money, or the one who collects the rent.
Yeah, we can say that.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is my area.
Welcome very much.
Yeah, I'm also into taxation matters. Also in finance, advisory services, and consultancy.
So does Sweethomes also do taxation? Do you help landlords, for example, file
that
their
is just an
returns?
extension.
It's an extension.
Yeah.
So you can help.
So I'm a partner to Mr. Mututa. He is the founder.
Okay.
Yes.
Welcome very much, Wambua.
Thank you, sir.
And in my immediate left is Enoch. Enoch, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Francis. My name is Enoch Chitonde Chija. I'm so excited today to be part of this discussion. We are in the information age, and it's only a good thing to get information from the right sources, the people who are knowledgeable in the industry of real estate. One thing I love about KBN, Kingdom Business Network, is that it has laid a good foundation for us, matters real estate. So as the young people, we can only get better. And if we are getting now people diversifying in the real estate industry, it is showing us more opportunities as the young people. Now that you are talking about commercial real estate, I'm excited to know how you guys are doing it. I've always seen Sweethomes around. I've seen the stickers on cars. I've seen billboards, posters, Sweethomes. So I just want to know how you guys do it and the opportunities available for us as the young people in real estate. Thank you so much.
Welcome very much, Enoch.
Yes.
We go back to Sweethomes. It's a sweet name.
Sure.
Sweet.
How did you come up with sweet names? How was the journey? Where did you start? How did you start?
Sweethomes, we started Sweethomes in 2010, and 2010 we registered that name, Sweethomes, in our government, and the name passed away that time, 2010, and we were very happy to get that name, Sweethomes. Yes, we searched many names, but we got that name was very nice to real estate, and also the name it's also very attractive to our customers. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how has been the journey from 2010? When did you get your first rental property to collect rent, and how is it now?
For the first time to get our clients, it was 2010, September, and the company was started 2010 May, 2010 May. So from May up to September, we got only one client, and that time there was challenges to get a client because the Sweethomes was a new business, and we managed that client for 3 months, and after 3 months we got a referrals, a lot of referrals. Within 3 months we got 5 properties within 3 months, and Sweethomes that time we expanded our business. 2010 September, October, November, and December. So those are 3 months. We got a lot of businesses because of good management, and we managed very well that three properties. Yes.
So today, how many properties are you managing, roughly?
Roughly.
40.
Yeah.
40 properties.
40 properties.
So from 3 to 30 in about 10 years, 12 years or so. Yeah. That is remarkable.
Yes, yes.
That's a good growth.
Yes.
So coming to Wambua, you said you are in which business lines? Commercial real estate, what else?
I said we are also in real estate,
Yes.
in residential real estate, we are both in commercial,
Yes.
where we target the business people or the business community. We're also targeting the dwellers of Nairobi, because most of the properties we are managing, in fact, a big chunk of our properties are residential, if I may tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah, 90% is residential properties.
So you are in commercial real estate and
Yes,
residential
residential real estate.
Is there any other field you are
Yes,
in
yes.
as Sweethomes?
Yes, in Sweethomes we're also in the industry of land and in developed land, whereby we sell on behalf of the clients.
You sell on behalf,
Yeah, on behalf.
like commission agents?
Yeah, like
Okay.
commission agents.
Okay.
Yeah. We also do letting. When we do not manage, we also get clients who would contract us to lease their properties, lease their offices. So we also lease on behalf of our clients,
Okay.
of our customers.
Okay.
Yeah,
So today we are focusing on commercial real estate.
sure.
What is the difference between commercial real estate and residential real estate?
Okay, that's a very nice question. In commercial, we are talking about business people, business community, whereby you are dealing with, it's like a business to business customer relationship, whereby if it's an office business, I mean an office building, like for an example, say a mall, if I may give an example, those are people who are in business, who want also a business space, a place where they can conduct their daily transaction with their clients. So commercial real estate is whereby you are focusing on business people. In residential real estate, you are focusing on, you are dealing with tenants who are there specifically for accommodation.
Okay.
Yes.
If somebody was to invest in commercial real estate, I would assume that the returns are higher because you are dealing with business people as opposed to the residential.
Yes.
So even your commission will also be higher.
True.
That means that's what you would prefer to do.
That's true.
Okay. Does it also cover, let's say, the leasing of, like in Nairobi city, for example, we see a lot of people getting into, they call them stalls and all that.
Yes.
Are you in that business also, might be buying or leasing, subdividing and leasing, renting that, the small stalls that we see?
Initially, like if I may say, before COVID-19, that was before 2020, we used to acquire spaces ourselves as Sweethomes management. We subdivide, then now we rent out to clients in form of offices, others in form of stalls. Maybe in Nairobi CBD, we had 2 premises. Unfortunately, when Corona came, we lost like 90% of our tenants. Then we gave up. Because in this kind of arrangement, we used to lease a space for like 3 years, a period of 3 years renewable. Then we pay upfront, with or without income. The landlord is paid by Sweethomes. But you see now the challenge came when you had paid for 3 years, but there's no income for 2 years. So now we had to scale down, and now we sat down and said that let us focus on the part of management. We manage on behalf of of our landlords. We also sell on behalf of our clients. But the part of now acquiring a space, subdividing, which is also very costly, and now looking for customers who might not maybe stay there for long because of these economic challenges. So because our company is small, it's not that huge. So we decided now to focus on the commercial real estate, whereby we manage the properties on behalf of our clients.
Okay.
Yes.
There might be somebody who is listening to me and he's wondering, you've talked about the Corona period. We know that things have changed. and he could be or she could be interested in, might be leasing space in CBD, and at the same time doing what you are doing, subdividing into smaller stalls and letting them. Do you think that currently that is viable? What you are doing, I know you are not doing it, but what is your thought?
I think currently it is viable because now the economy has started performing.
Okay.
Yeah, there is those indicators that going forward the economy is going to recover. So I think if there's anybody outside there who would wish maybe to do the commercial real estate, to lease out those offices, because currently we have so many people who have been calling us, asking whether we have those stores in Nairobi CBD, whether we have offices in Nairobi CBD. The only challenge is the budget, because what we used to rent out those days, nowadays maybe probably has gone by half. You find that a stall used to go at like 50,000. People are calling, but they are saying that my budget is 20,000. You see, so you might venture into that business, but now the returns might not align with your the returns now, the actual returns may not align with your expectations.
Okay.
Maybe this is what you are expecting, but the customers, the tenants you are getting are offering to give this much. So it's a good venture, but we hope going forward, God willing, things will stabilize, and now we'll go back to our business. Yeah.
There's something you said just still on those subdividing the stalls and all that. You talked about the issue of you paying, let's say, years in advance.
Yes.
Is there no other way or model whereby you lease and pay according to occupancy of the space occupied?
Okay. I just mentioned what I did.
Okay.
I know there are other approaches whereby you can lease, subdivide, then you collect rent, then pay the landlord.
Yes.
But what we used to do is that most landlords or the property owners in Nairobi, they don't want to deal with so many clients. They want to deal with one single tenant.
Yeah.
Now you become the major tenant. Then you as the lessee or the someone who has signed the contract is looking up to you to give him a lump sum amount of money. You see? Now you want to be secure. You want to be assured that this business is an ongoing concern. So he'll tell you, if you want to lease this space, I want a lease or a contract not less than a year upfront. You see, because he doesn't want to deal with so many other people. So he leases the property to you alone. Then it's upon you now to look for now the small tenants who will pay you, then you recover your money which you have already paid to the landlord. Yes.
Mr. Mututa, still on that, there is something I was listening to yesterday, and they were talking about goodwill on on commercial properties, and somebody was actually talking about how they were making a lot of money on goodwill. Were you asking for goodwill? How is goodwill determined? Especially when you are, I don't know whether you still ask for goodwill, but how does it work?
The goodwill, like nowadays, the goodwill it's not working well, because since that time for the COVID-19, most of the landlords lost the businesses because of the goodwill, and then because of that economy, it's a problem. So normally a customer they don't want to pay the goodwill. Yeah, they ask where you can pay rent and the deposit, because there was a time clients was asking a big goodwill, and because of the business was going good, so customer, they are paying goodwill very well. For example, if the customer wants to start a business and have a capital like 1 million, and we as a manager, we ask that goodwill 2 million, so that customer will not pay the goodwill. He'll consider where he can rent and pay the deposit. So like nowadays, there is a lot of challenge for the goodwill.
Okay.
Yes.
So might be what I'm gathering from this discussion is that there's a lot of available commercial rental property, and therefore, because you are trying to fight to get those clients, you necessarily will not ask for goodwill currently.
And that is the point.
So there's a lot of office space, there's a lot of commercial space out there.
Yeah.
Okay. So the rule of supply and demand.
It applies. You see, here is a customer who wants to start a business venture, for an example, like a retail shop in CBD, and the rent is about 60,000. 2 months deposit plus 1 month rent. That's about 180,000. And here is a property manager asking for a goodwill of 1 million. This is the rent and deposit for 180. This person, is he going to look for the starting capital, or is he going to pay for the goodwill? So that is the challenge. So, and as a property manager, we are in business. If we lose this customer, we have lost the business.
Exactly.
So what we do is to advise our landlords, our property owners, let us forego the issue of goodwill, so that at least we can have someone, because if you lose this rent, you see the value of a commercial property is determined by the amount of money which is paid by the tenant. If you do not have rentals or rental income coming in, you are losing. And you are losing because of the goodwill. You see, so we currently we are not asking for goodwill.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So I think for those people who might have tried to get a property in CBD many years ago and were dissuaded by goodwill, we have good news for you. And the good news is currently you might get a place without goodwill.
Sure.
Enoch, what do you have to say about all this?
Well, I'm gathering so much today. At least they have been able to unveil for me that I don't have to worry if I'm looking for space about goodwill. That has been a challenge for most of the people to start. You are looking at having limited capital. You want to start, you have small capital, but you end up investing all your capital into goodwill. So I'm looking at it as a way for you guys to help me locate that building or that space that does not require goodwill, because I'm quite sure that not all managers or landlords have done away with goodwill. There are those who are still asking for the goodwill. So if these guys, the property managers, Sweethomes, can help me identify space where I don't have to pay goodwill or extra, so that I can start with my small capital and grow, scale with time, I think that's a good it's a good thing.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. So when looking at commercial real estate, what are the key benefits of investing? So if I'm an investor and I want to invest in commercial real estate, what would be the benefits that I would expect?
Okay, that's a very good question. Investment in commercial real estate has a lot of benefits. as compared with residential real estate. One, you have what we call cash flow benefits.
Okay.
You have a steady flow of income every month. Because in commercial, when you are talking about commercial, as I earlier said, you are dealing with business people.
Yeah.
There's no single business person who would wish to start a business which is not a going concern business. Because of what? Of the location and identity. If you want to start a business, like for an example, along Thika Road, you must have done your due diligence. Who are your potential customers? How is the accessibility of where I want to put up a business? So this customer or this tenant is not someone who is going to sign a contract of less than a year.
Okay.
In fact, right now the list or the shortest period for a commercial tenant is 5 years.
5 years.
So the landlord is assured, is pretty sure for the next 5 years, I have steady cash flow in the form of rental income. You see, in residential,
Yes.
now we are looking at the cons, the disadvantages. In a residential real estate, is whereby today you have a tenant for accommodation, tomorrow is maybe he has been transferred to Nakuru.
Yes.
He gives you a 30 days notice.
Yes.
And this probably
An
this
Akalia deposit.
an Akalia deposit. Now you move to when this tenant is relocated, you might take like 2-3 months before you get a suitable tenant for that. But you see, in commercial real estate, is whereby this tenant, if he must relocate, there must be a sufficient reason why he is relocating his business. So for commercial real estate, there is that advantage of having a steady flow of rental income. Another thing is about appreciation in value. In a real estate property, for an example, let's talk about a mall along superhighway along Thika Road. It is determined by the development in the surrounding area. Say, for an example, the initial cost of development is like, for example, let's say 2 billion. This investment, it has tenants, commercial tenants, business people, not accommodation, not residential. These business people, they also bring along with them value. Like if it's a restaurant,
Yes.
if there's a commercial bank up there, you find that at the ground floor there's a restaurant there. Why have they put up that business? Because they are targeting people who are coming to trade or to transact in the bank to come and have some snacks. We also have supermarkets, whereby these supermarkets are targeting the customers from the banks. On their way home, they do shopping. You get me? So there is value. There is appreciation in value of commercial properties.
Okay.
You get me? And also the surrounding area. Where you have put up a commercial property, it tends to attract so many other things, like petrol stations, like social halls. Just imagine over a mall, a commercial property like a Garden City Mall along Thika Road. When it was put up there, so many other structures came up.
Yes.
Yeah, because of the accessibility to the banking institutions, accessibility to the shopping mall, the shopping malls, accessibility to the recreation centers. You see, so when you invest in a commercial real estate, there is that appreciation of value of your property. And another thing is portfolio diversification.
Yes.
When you invest in a real, you see, investors probably have invested in so many other industries like transport industry, farming industry, like insurance industry.
Yeah.
When you invest in a commercial real estate, you have diversified your risks.
So Diversification.
Diversification of your portfolio.
Yes.
Another thing, there's advantage of tax benefits. In commercial real estate investment, some of these ventures are so huge whereby you access credit facilities from commercial banks, whereby we call them mortgages.
Yes.
When now you are repaying, there is what we call the cost of finance. The mortgage, when you are paying the installments, you are paying the principal plus what we call interest.
Wonderful.
This interest, as a developer or as a landlord, you can use it now to lower your tax liabilities.
Wonderful. Just hold it there. I think what we'll do is that we'll take a short break, but before we take that, we'll come back and revisit the issue of the lease. There's something you said about the lease. Would want to understand how a commercial property has a lease. What are the advantages to the person renting? You've talked about the advantages to the owner of the building, but you also want to see the advantages to the person who is leasing the business person. We'd also want to explore more about the tax benefits. So we are going to take a short break, and we are going to be right back, and we'll pick it up from those two. So dear viewer, just stay tuned. We'll be right back in a short while.
Faith Today TV is here to make your brand outstanding. Worry not on where to advertise your business or your product. Call us on 0114 777 000 or email us on info@faithtodaytv.co.ke.
I'm so excited about my new book, My Times and Seasons. Well, this is a very impactful book that I wrote, and it took me several years just to come up with this book. And basically it's about my personal story, from bringing up, growing up, career, business, family, misfortunes, challenges, losses, recovery, restoration. So much that I have been able to cover in this book. And I want to encourage you to get a copy. You can call that number, you can send a message, and even if you're not in Nairobi, we can ship it to you and we can send it to you wherever you are. And I have no doubt this book is a life-changing book. The other day somebody told me they bought for somebody bought for her sister, and when the sister read this book, My Times and Seasons, she actually was crying. She was saying, pray for me. I want to come to the Lord. I want God to change my life. It was such an inspiration for them. And I want to encourage you, get a copy today and call that number, send a message, and I will be able to send you this book. I'm sure this book will be a blessing to you and to somebody. Very impactful, life-changing, about my story. God has, how God has used my life, changed my life, restoring my life. God bless you as you get a copy of My Times and Seasons. Asante, and God bless. Mountain Moving Faith. This is my latest book. And if you want to learn how you can move mountains, life has many mountains. While this journey, you will encounter mountains and you wonder, how can I move mountains? This is a book to read. And it took me time to research, to pray, and to wait on God and look at the scriptures. And what Jesus talked about, moving mountains. And this book is quite a story, it's quite an inspiration. It is quite something that will change your life. So order your copy today. We can send it to you wherever you are in this country. We will be able to send this book to you on mountain moving faith. Call that number or send a message, and our team will be able to ship it to you wherever you are. There's a book to read. You can also buy for your friend, for a family as a gift, and I have no doubt they will thank you, and they will be always thankful for what you have done for them. So God bless you as you read this book, Mountain Moving. I wrote a book, a powerful book, that is 7 Keys to Success. All of us want to succeed. Nobody here wants to fail. I have no doubt you have a deep-seated desire how to succeed, but you wonder how. There are principles in this book. I call them keys. There are 7 of them that I have elaborated, that I have discussed in this book, and I have no doubt when you read this book, well, you will succeed. Many people have read it and they have come. The other day I met somebody who told me, well, I read your 7 keys to success and I have been teaching from that book. Actually, she's a pastor, and she told me, well, I actually bought several, I have given to my leaders, to my people. You can use it also for teaching and even blessing other people in your family, church, and friends, even your place of work. 7 keys to success. I have no doubt when you read this book, you will succeed. Failure is not your place to be. You can be successful by reading 7 keys to success. Call that number, send a message, and we will respond to you and send you a copy of this book. God bless you, and see you soon.
My viewer, we are glad that you are still tuned in to Kingdom Business Network on Faith Today Television. Whether you're watching us on television, on Facebook, or on...
Lots who maybe early find that when I came, the rent was 20,000. After 1 year, maybe the landlord may decide, because of certain improvement he made somewhere, he want to now review the rent upwards.
You know, in some places, the easiest way to chase somebody is increase the rent.
Increase the rent, you see.
And now, maybe it's your son who wants the premise.
You see.
Okay.
Now, this lease makes sure that there is that framework, or now we interact. If I want maybe to use that space, that office space as a landlord, there's a way. I need to terminate that thing. Legally, there's that framework in the lease that shows that if landlord wishes now to have the premises back, there's what we call, there's a termination clause. Yes. There's an exit clause. There's a way he can talk to you as the lessee or the tenant. You see, now the tenant is covered. He is secure. His money is secure. And also, there are those, maybe you might not be aware that there are those landlords who doesn't want to refund the deposit. Yeah. Now, where will you go after he has refused now to refund? He can tell you, yes, you pay the deposit, but I have used it to repair this and that. So your 200,000 deposit has been what? Used to repair the house. Is that clause captured in the lease that my deposit should be used or utilized? Ndio itapaka rangi, ndio itafanya repairs. And maybe ukipatiwa nyumba it was leaking. No. And maybe when you came as a tenant, you also made some improvements. Maybe umepartition your office, umeweka gypsum, umeweka tiles. No. Is that captured anywhere in the lease? So it's a legal document that is prepared or that is used to bide the two parties. Unanielewa? It makes sure that the landlord is safe and the tenant is safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the when you talk about the benefits of lease to the landlord, there are those tenants who wakes up in the morning and say that I want to vacate. By saa tano na still ikuwa nimetoka. No. This rental income is what the landlord uses maybe to pay the mortgage.
Yeah.
So we go back to the lease. What does the lease say? When you want to exit, you should give a termination notice, not less than 3 months. If it was 3 months in the lease. So, and if you must vacate immediately, this is what you are going to forfeit. Maybe you are going to forfeit half of your deposit or 2 months of your deposit, so that the landlord is also covered by the lease.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Mututa, let me ask you, let me digress a little bit. In some areas in Nairobi, I don't want to mention which areas, but mostly lower income areas, we find a lot of people, or a trend whereby people go and get some piece of land, they lease it from the owner, and they put up some structures, let me call it semi-permanent structures. And the lease might be 3 years or 5 years, whatever it is, and they put up mabati houses or whatever it is. And it's said to be making a lot of money for the person leasing. What is your comment on that? And how can you do it? Is it a viable way for somebody small who wants to get into commercial real estate? What's your thought?
Okay, my thought, if you want to lease kind of that a land in a commercial for the temporary structure, it's good as a investor. You negotiate with the client or the owner of the lease, because that it's not your land, is it? You can negotiate in a stand to give a short years. You can you can ask the client to give 5 years, more than 5 years, so that the money which you are putting there, you can get the profit after 5 years. But for the short period, that one maybe you don't know between 2 years whether you'll do a good structure for the temporary and then get customers within the area. Yeah, so if you have that a good negotiation, so you can get a good profit for that lease, because you know, as a leaser, you have to be very careful for the money which you are investing there. Yes.
So you're basically saying that if you want to get into that kind of investment, you ask for a longer period, 5 years and more, so that you're able to recoup your investment and make some profit. So Wambua, do you think that business model is profitable?
As I said, in commercial real estate, we are talking of business. You would not want to invest in a venture to make losses. Yeah. So if, as an investor, you have identified a land and you want to lease it, maybe for commercial purposes, maybe you want to put up some Mabat stores, so that you can rent to people to do business. For you now to recoup or to recover your investment, it's always to consider the time. The longer the period,
The better.
the better.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And what's your take?
Well, I'm learning so much about the leasing, the commercial real estate now. At least I see you have tried to tone it down and brought it closer to us, the young people. It is not something that you can fear to venture into, because when you talk about someone having space and then putting temporary structures, I'm thinking in mind that that is not a very expensive property to acquire. So what I want now to know is, for me to enter into this commercial real estate, what does it take? What are the packages available you can advise for the young people now who want to venture into commercial real estate? Don't scare me with the big figures. Tell me where I can start so that I can enjoy this discussion today.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
If I can talk about that. When you talk about commercial properties, as an investor, you don't need yourself to have these premises or these buildings. Like when you talk of commercial properties, it can be a rental building or a retail building, it can be an office building, it can be an industrial building, it can also be what we call a mixed use building.
Mixed, that means commercial plus residential.
Yes, it can be commercial on the ground floor. First floor, second floor, you can put like banks, bank institutions. Then upper floors, you can put residential. That is what we call a mixed use building. So what we do here, if you do not have enough money or enough capital to invest, you can approach a developer and we do what we call joint venture. He owns the land, he owns everything. But now you have an agreement that I am going to lease this property for like 10, 15 years. You see, you'll be paying him rent, a standard rate. Then you yourself, you are going to add value on that structure, on that building. Maybe you are going to partition into a smaller office. You see, when you partition to a smaller office, you are attracting now the middle business people. You see, that way you are going to multiply your investment. Like for example, an office space of about 50,000 for one single tenant. You can subdivide it into two for 20. I mean for like 30-30. Instead of now earning you 50, you get 60. So there's a value addition of 10,000 extra.
Wow.
You get it. So you sit down with the developer, you agree on the rent you'll be paying per month, quarterly, half-yearly or annually. Then it is upon you as an investor so that you can make a little money on top. You add value on that building. You get me? So you'll be collecting rent from your customers. But now the main landlord will be collecting money from you. So not necessarily that you must construct your own building to be an investor. You can lease it yourself from the main landlord, then you lease it out to your tenants. So you also become a landlord. You get me?
Yes.
So that is what has been happening currently. Okay. Yeah, unapata mtu amekondisha nyumba Kilimani kwa mwenye nyumba 100k per month. Naye anaenda ana put up some maybe gym or something else, anaikondisha in a month inamletea like 600k, but the main landlord is getting 100k. So you don't need to have money to construct yours. You can rent it from the landlord, then you rent it out to your tenants, then you earn some income.
So from what I'm getting from this discussion, there are a number of opportunities here. Number one, if you have land and you don't have money to develop, you can get an investor. You can come and put either temporary structures or permanent structures. So the investor comes with a capital, your contribution here is the land and he pays you. That's one opportunity. Sure. The second opportunity that I hear you talk about is you don't have the money, you don't have the land, you don't have the building. So you go and rent a building, subdivide, and then lease it out.
Yes.
So you're leasing it out at 600,000, but you're paying the landlord 500,000. So you're making 100,000. You see, that's a profit.
Yes.
The other one is whereby you don't have the land, but you can be an investor. You know, so that's a land opportunity.
Yes.
So you don't have the land, but you have the money to go and do the first one, whereby you're actually getting somebody who has the land.
Yes.
And those are opportunities which are available.
Yeah.
And that's quite something. And I think the most important thing is for somebody to weigh himself. If you have a small piece of land somewhere which is idle, there's many opportunities that are available. You can get somebody who might be able to do something in terms of leasing what you have for some period of time. And instead of that land lying idle, then you can be making some money.
It's a strategy.
Yes,
It is a strategy.
that's a good one. Now, that's one of the benefits that we talked about. So leasing, I think we can rest it there. The other one you talked about was the benefit of tax.
Tax benefit.
And I didn't want you to go so fast on it, because you see right now in our country, everybody's talking about tax.
That is
So take us slowly in terms of the tax benefits in commercial real estate.
You see, most of the commercial investors,
Yes.
commercial real estate investors, they do not do it as individuals.
Okay.
They do that investment or venture in what we call LLCs. LLCs, that is limited liability companies.
Okay.
You find that you have developed the building, you have constructed the building, but under a limited liability company.
Yes.
These limited liability companies, they access credit from commercial banks so that they can venture into this kind of construction too. Because for you to maybe to have a billion shilling, it's not that easy unless you obtain a credit facility. So when you are filing returns, you don't file returns as an individual. You file returns for that business, as a limited liability company. Now, the benefit comes here. These taxes you are paying, the taxes you are paying to the government, there is that scale which the government uses now when you are filing your annual returns to determine the amount of money you are supposed to pay to the government. Take for an example, your gross profit is like 200 million. And you're supposed to pay 30% of that 200 million to the government. And here, you have been paying mortgage every other month.
Yeah.
This mortgage, it has an element of interest in it.
Yes.
Interest to you is an expense.
Yeah.
Interest to the company, to this company is an expense. So we use that interest to lower your tax exposure.
Yes.
Tax, what we call tax liability. So I am saying, investing in a commercial real estate, sometimes it can help the developer, whereby the amount of installments you are repaying back to the government, I mean to the commercial bank, I mean to the lender. That interest helps you to reduce your tax liability in the other end when you are filing your returns. And also there is also what we call property taxes. Nowadays, I know you are aware about what we call monthly rental income, MRI,
Yes.
which is now currently at 7.5, a flat rate, and it is a final tax. You see? So it will help you, those kind of tax benefits, if you are in commercial real estate and you have obtained such a credit facility to develop this thing, itakusaidia mara mbili. Inakusaidia because when you are paying your loan, yes, you are reducing your what we call, when you are paying mortgage every month, the installment, you are reducing your debt. At the same time, at the end of the year, when filing returns, that element of interest you are paying to the bank is reducing your tax liability on the other side. Yes.
Maybe Mututa can take us through the risks, and maybe then you can later join in. The risk in terms of investing in commercial real estate. There's somebody who wants to invest in this, But what are the risks? Are there any risk, or is it I invest, then I'm good, just smiling all the way to the bank?
Yes, there is a risk. A risk in investing in the commercial. For example, one risk when all the time for the COVID-19, you'll get the notices, that is the vacant houses, the vacant offices. So that is also a risk, because when there is that COVID-19, for example, normally most of the customers, they work at home, and you can't work where there is the offices, and you sleep there, so you have to work at home. Yes. So that is also the risk in investing in the commercial. Yes. So when the customers or the tenants working at home in digital or the online, so you'll get the vacant offices, and you'll not get the income for that month, because of maybe the customer might not even pay the rent because of that one. It's the whole worldwide. Yes, so that is also a risk. It's a risk.
Mm-hmm. So you're basically saying that working from home is a competitor of commercial real estate, because then I don't need office space. Yeah, and it's becoming a trend nowadays. I think the trend worldwide is a lot of people want to go work from home, but that will affect mostly office. Mm-hmm. But in terms of business, at the end of the day, I don't see many people who want to come to your house to conduct business matters. Might be a restaurant or somewhere, but your house might not work. But if you're a person who is working more online, then you'd be very comfortable working from home. What are the other risks, Wambua?
To add on top of what Mr. Mututa said about, we call it cash flow risk, or tenant risk. When you're investing in a commercial real estate, you need to consider that it might come a time when the rate of vacancy is high. People are vacating, people are moving. You see, there's no demand for maybe the retail shops, for offices. So that is a risk you should also consider when you are investing. Yeah. So don't say that because I have the offices, I have a office building, it will always be 100% full. No. As an investor, you should be very cautious and write that down as one of the risks, because entirely commercial real estate, they rely entirely on the rent paid by the tenants. So if you do not have tenants in that premises, you have that risk of what? Cash flow. You will not have money. So that is what I wanted just to add on top of what he said. The other risk is market volatility. Market volatility sometimes is determined by the performance in the general, what we call the economic downturns. We find that sometimes there's what we call like bank rates. If bank rates go up, you find that most of the business people are scared to access credit facilities. You get me? So you find that now the laws are no longer, it's like people are no longer interested to obtain credit. So they tend to scale down their operations. And when someone scales down the operation, he might also reach out to the landlord and tell him, now I want to release some of the spaces because I'm not in I'm not able now to pay this amount of rent. But when the economy starts to stabilize, I'll come and add more spaces. So that's what we call market volatility. And also it is also what we call a shift in demand. You find that, for an example, I know you must have been in town in CBD.
Yes.
Why are the people closing down the stores?
Good question.
Why
I've
are they?
noted that.
You have noted that?
Yeah.
Why?
I thought there's a lot of availability, a lot of available stores.
Not even availability. You find someone who had a store where he was paying 35,000 per month, selling the same goods with a hawker. What the hawker is selling outside there.
People outside.
Outside there.
Yeah.
You are selling electronics. There's somebody there who is selling similar products.
And he's paying no rent.
And probably cheaper than what you are selling.
For sure it should be cheaper because he's paying no rent.
Because they are not paying rent.
Yeah.
So you find that the demand for those stores is not there. So as an investor, you should consider that. Yeah. What will happen when now the demand for my stores goes down? So those are some of the risks you should consider when investing in real estate. Another thing I would also want to talk about is what we call financing risks. Some of these ventures are so huge. If you want to build property worth 2 billion, you must source for that money.
Yeah.
And this money has its cost, the financing cost. So as an investor in commercial real estate, you also need to consider the financing risks. How am I going to get the finances? And the structure or the building I'm going to invest in, are the rentals sufficient to cover debt service? I want to give you an example, like just an example. You've obtained like $1 billion. You've constructed a mall, which has taken 3 years now to completion. You do not have ready market for it, and you do not have ready tenants. People who are ready to occupy. Now it takes another 2 years for you to get the tenants. That is a period of 5 years.
You might have borrowed the money.
And you have borrowed the money. This money also, it should be returned to the lender within a period of 5 years to 7 years. For commercial, it doesn't go beyond 7 years. Yeah, it's not like residential. Residential, even it goes up to 30 years. Mtu unanunua nyumba na bank na unalipa of a period of 30 years. For commercial, there is a time frame, fixed time frame, whereby you must repay this loan within 7 days maximum. And you have spent 3 years constructing, 2 years looking for tenants. So there is that risk of financing. Because after the expiration of the loan period, they might come back and sell it, auction your investment. So there are those risks that as investor, you need to have a professional, someone who is advising you so that you don't make wrong decision. Another risk is, we call it pandemic or economic risk, whereby like, for an example, I can relate this with Corona. During Corona, you will find that it is beyond the investor's control.
Yes.
It's a calamity.
They call them acts of God, or is it?
Yes. it is a calamity.
Yes.
So what will happen? For an example, you had to import chuma, iron, from maybe China. Now, it has been banned. There's no import from an affected area of the world that kuna ugonjwa, kuna outbreak of maybe a disease, so we should not import anything from that area, and you have sent money, you have bought. So you see, unasema economy pia, economy, risk and the pandemic, zote zinaenda pamoja. So you should consider those risks as an investor. Things that are beyond you, that are beyond your control. So that is also a risk. And also I want to talk about liquidity risk. As a commercial real estate investor, commercial properties are not easy to convert into money.
Okay.
They are not easy at all. Take for an example, you have invested 1 billion shilling in a mall and you want to sell it from, say, like 3 billion, 4 billion. Is it easy to get a client, a customer who is willing to buy that property easily? It might take 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line looking for a buyer. But if you invest in a residential unit, an apartment of 3 bedrooms, and you put it in an advertisement, 3-bedroom house for sale, in 2-3 hours it is bought. So there is that liquidity risk. So commercial investments are not that easy convertible into what? Or it is not easy to dispose them. That is the key word.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That's a very enlightening discussion. Enoch, what is your take on that as we start to wind down?
I'm now learning. I'm trying to weigh now my options, because from the discussion I'm learning that you have to, when you're starting, when you want to venture into this industry of real estate, you have to factor in the possibility of, if the risks are high, you go to the lower, because there's no business that does not have risks. So when the other outweighs the other, you go to the lesser one that has fewer risks. For now, I'm appreciating residential. Yes, as a
so you're ready to take sides.
I'm ready to take sides. Residential.
The higher the risks,
yes.
the higher the return.
The higher the returns.
Yes.
Okay.
So someone who has a residential house of 2 bedrooms going at 15,000, the risks are less. These risks are less.
Yes.
But someone who has an office building, with an income of 2 million a month, who is well placed.
Sure.
The one who is earning more income. So the higher the risks, the higher the returns.
The higher the returns.
So me, I would advise you go for the commercial real
You have
estate.
to be a risk taker.
Yes.
Now tell me how to mitigate these risks. I need to know how.
Okay, fine. To mitigate this risk, that's why I've talked about, you have someone, a professional, who will advise you. Whatever decisions you are making, you are very sure that you are not making a wrong decision when you are investing. So all the risks I highlighted here, lazima kukuwe na mtu, there must be someone who understands very well.
Yeah.
Because if people doesn't risk and build like malls, where will we be going for shopping?
We need malls.
We need malls.
Yes.
Sindio? So if we become, all of us, risk aversive, we don't want to incur, or we are scared of risking, we will not go anywhere. So what you need to have someone to advise you when you are making the decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you offer those advisory services?
That is what I do.
You do that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. So this has been very enlightening. And as we wind up the program today, I would want to have some closing remarks, starting with Enoch.
Well, I thank you so much, Dr. Francis. I can only get better with such discussions. My brain capacity, I must tell people, it's becoming now bigger, heavier. Yes, it is really becoming heavier because you guys are building my confidence. You are exposing me to so much. Because when you look at the businesses, when you look at our history, what we've been handling, real estate is something that is outstanding. It is one of the investments that someone can start. For example, the young people, someone that can start with. So I'm really excited to know that I can start investing in commercial real estate. I've understood a number of ways to enter into the industry. I've gotten to know you guys. You are the professionals that I can really reach out to, and I can only get better. I've gotten a message from my dad. He is following you guys. He's following all the way from Uganda, Masaka. Yeah, so I'm excited to know that Dad, Pastor Paul Selunjoji, I want to send my regards. He is always following, he's always learning, and I'm very sure soon he will be investing in this country. Now that the economy is taking that, it's growing, it is catching up. There is so much opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Enoch.
Yes.
Mututa. Yes, what's your closing remarks?
Yeah. Okay, in real estate, it's a good, it's a good for the investment, and before you invest, it's good you look for the professionals who can advise you, and after you get the professionals, I think you will not be in a risk to invest in real estate. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So in closing, Wambua, you can also tell us where you are located, where Sweet Home is. If somebody who is viewing us today would want to come and get in touch with you to manage their property or to get the advisory services, where can they find you as you close?
Okay, as I close, I can say that real estate, investing in commercial real estate, it has numerous benefits. We've talked about steady and stable rental income. We've talked about tax benefits. We've also talked about what we call appreciation in value of investment. We've also talked about it cushioning you against inflation. You get it?
Yeah.
So I can only advise people, young people, middle-aged and old people, to focus on investing in I cannot say only in commercial real estate, but in real estate. Be it commercial, be it residential, but you are in real estate.
Yes.
As a closing remarks, Sweethomes Management Limited, we are located at Blessed House. Blessed House is along Super Highway, along Thika Road, where there is OFC Church, Overcoming Faith Church. Yeah, it's just next to Astro petrol station, opposite Garden City Mall.
Okay.
Yeah, we are on second floor, room number 25.
Second floor, room number 25.
Second floor, room number 25 at Blessed House. Yes, along Thika Super Highway.
So your viewer are welcome to engage them further in this discussion. I'm so glad that you tuned in. And once again, if you're watching us on YouTube, I would request you to please always subscribe and like this video. It will help with the algorithm and it will help us spread this message. So we want to get out of your house this hour, but stay tuned next time, same hour, and tag a friend and let them know that we have something for them. And especially if they're in business or starting a business or engaging in business activities, welcome them to listen to this panel of wealth experts and they will help you in your wealth creation journey. God bless you very much and thank you for your time.
Thank you.